just like that, train is in the books, going all the distance, all the rounds, all the maps here at ESL One New York, powered by Intel. The only way that this one's going to be thriving and flowing as fast as it possibly is. We're going to try to make some sense of this train game here on the analyst desk next to Chad and Duncan. Guys, right away, Chad, I want to hit you with the hard-hitting questions. What exactly is going on?
If we didn't make it clear to people that a stand-in team would struggle on the T side, then let's do it right now. The reason that a map like Train, you need to have a little bit more than just set pieces, is because the depth on this, you get locked out of bomb sites quite easily. It's harder to find the opening kills. And when you look at this matchup right here, mousesports just started slow. In that first half, Sunny has to be praised for all of the rounds that they won. You got the opening kill, the pistol round, which snowballed to get them the first 3. In the first gun round they won, he had the opening kill. And in the second gun round they won, which was the second last round of the first half, he also had the opening kill. And I think, sitting here watching the cams, I did this during the major, and I noticed that Nico was in-game leading for Old Boys FaZe. I think Sunny is in-game leading for mousesports.
That's a weird thing. We should probably expand on that. Duncan, what do you think about that sort of role?
It's certainly an unusual move because actually people give Chris J, as I referenced in the pregame, a lot of praise actually for his in-game leading job in this team, especially because he had also found like a role that was capable for himself at the same time. But they have had issues, obviously, since Snacks came in. They haven't been on the same page at all. Then the rumours, I mean, Sonny, it's not even really a rumour anymore. Sonny confirmed it himself in an interview. He's had those big offers. And when he says big offers, we're talking about the FaZe clans of the world, potentially to go and join them. So this actually sounds to me somewhat similar to what happened in MIBR, where bizarrely, all of a sudden, they went back on their SK, you had Cold Zero calling, and we know he was getting offers. So I think it's one of the moves that the org pull as to placate a star player. So say, right, okay, things aren't working now, but you know what? Give it a go if you want to do that. Like, let's see if this last sort of iteration can work out. And almost blew it here, but they have recovered it to a third map. So I think it's pretty essential to do well at this tournament, to be honest.
I mean, it's very essential. We could talk about some of the roles and some of the trials and tribulations that this mousesports lineup is having. But even here, when they were able to take it to overtime, it wasn't like they were in complete control of this match.
It was still shaky, but that shows the star potential of players like Crims and then Draken having one of those good games that he can have. The impact that these guys can do as individuals is always there. That's not what we question. At no point do we question how good any of the individuals on either of these teams are. It's just more their teamwork and cohesion and strategies and all that kind of fun stuff.
You want to talk about questions, Chad?
I got it.
There's one man on the sidelines. His name is James Banks, and he actually had the chance and the opportunity to speak with Oscar following that map. Let's hear what they talked about.
I'm joined by Oscar from mousesports. Now, you guys have taken down them on Train. It was still a tough game. It went to overtime. Just what did you find some of the struggles on Train going up against Fnatic with obviously their kind of recent changes?
We knew that they are strong on Train, but we also knew that we can play the Train as well. We beat them many times, and we had some plan going into the match. And when we were down 14-7, we had some rough communication. So Sergey just told us to just play our game, that we were in this situation time ago, and we came back. So we just stayed calm, and we did a comeback.
Now, one of the things that the other talent and I have noticed is that we see Sonny talking a little bit more. Has he taken over of the in-game leadership roles at all?
We tried that on bootcamp before the major. He was talking instead of Chris J. So he's sometimes using his calls, and Chris can chill.
Now, next up, you've got Mirage, which is a map that you guys have always been pretty strong on. You feeling confident now to come in there and close it out, or are you still kind of wary of what Fnatic can do given the performances they've put up?
Yeah, obviously we lost every Mirage we played last 2 months, so it's gonna be hard for sure again. But we will do our best to win and not do mistakes we usually did before.
All right, man. Good luck, Stunner. Chad, let me know what you think of that.
Let me tell you what I think about that. Sounds like no one can counter them if they don't have a plan themselves.
This is the thing. You can't have every team in the world in-game leading by committee. It doesn't work. You need a clear game plan. At least people mid-round, it's fine. I don't mind if multiple people are piping up mid-round, but when you have clashing ideas at the start of rounds and it's already not clear enough in a team, it's so hard to get a game plan rolling. You know, you look at going into this last matchup, this is where mousesports in the last 6 months of last year were definitely the best team in the world on that map. Nobody could touch them. But they've kind of been resting on their laurels with that, going up against a Fnatic who don't mind Mirage themselves. It's going to be a difficult one.
Well, the interesting thing here, too, is this is a situation where we have kind of too many Chiefs and not enough Native Americans.
Well, Yeah,
So the way you said it there was ridiculous, wasn't it?
you need people
I'm
to
just calling it out.
look. You need people to follow orders, right? But the
Yes.
sense is they do have these players who can. I guess they should be able to play within a team dynamic. I think this is a systemic issue in all Counter-Strike at the moment. There aren't enough clear leaders. And I don't know how we're going to fix that problem. But now that we're going into Mirage, Scream's shown that he can, put up a lot of numbers on the score. But we know Crims is always going to get his. This will be another game that I think is going to go the distance.
But here is the difference now. We do switch over to Mirage. We can see right now where Sunny is finding a rhythm, finding a groove. We can see some of the players that necessarily didn't have the quickest of starts over on the first map of Inferno are now online. Europsis, for example.
Yeah, I guess.
Finally.
But the thing is, it shouldn't be so close for them.
Yeah.
Now that you're saying, yeah, right, they won a big string of rounds there towards the end there to come back into this game. At this point, you'd be hoping they're warmed up. But coming out of this major, this is where the mental issue comes in of, we disappointed at the biggest tournament of the year. Coming to this, are we here for redemption or is it just flat? And looks like right now we're still just getting the flat mousesports.
Nobody likes a flat mousesports. Kind of like a flat soda with ice cream in it. Nobody really wants that either.
Yeah, that
right,
was
Chad?
weird.
Yeah, that was.
What was that? You rocked up for that whole soda situation.
I was not any part of that. I was out on that.
Well, what was the frothy stuff in there?
I don't really know. I know as like a kid we had like root beer floats, right? So you get ice cream, you pour root beer or the Coca-Cola on top of it. And
That's a
it
bit
makes sort of
different.
a nice concoction. Don't know what Alex drank last night.
I don't know
even
either.
know that he didn't pay the price for it this morning. There's a high likelihood he did.
It was the weirdest drink I've ever seen.
Stomach ache in a cup. Kind of like stomaching going into a third map, which is exactly what we're going to be doing here, guys. Do we think that this will be a different story going into the third
It's
map?
going to be another close affair, though, because the individuals are showing up. Everybody can throw A smokes for the executes. I'm just going to be interested to see if they plug and play Scream straight into Flush's positions, or if they change things up. They were using him in a lot more entry frag roles, which I think is definitely something he's great at on the T side. On the CT side, he can just stand and deliver. So the question mark isn't even really, can Fnatic have the firepower? We know that's there. Can mousesports actually play Team Counter-Strike, which they seem to have lost?
Roughly 10 seconds, Duncan. Wrap this one up. How do you think it's going to conclude?
I think the mousesports should take it at this point in time. Like I think it's certainly a map Scream could play on, but it's going to be a lot more difficult on that CT side, and I think that's what's going to win it for mousesports.
Well, it does look like we're going to do the dance one more time as we do go into the final map here, Mirage, between Fnatic and mousesports. And, well, of course, to bring us that action will be the commentary duo known as the Machine and the Pansy. Take it away, you two.
Yeah, we've worked on our names a couple of times. There's been
The
some...
Machine and the Pansy. It's like an indie band.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I prefer it to your original name.
The Machine and the Pansy.
Yeah.
Our debut album out now, Mirage. We're going into our third map, yeah, and I think this is going to be very, very interesting. We have, as the desk have set it up to be another close affair after what was supposed to be a very quick and open and shut case from Fnatic. They picked up Inferno their map. They acquired such a comfortable lead on Train. They have had it taken away from them, and now it's not only a question of the Counter-Strike, it's a question of the mental fortitude. This is a team that haven't actually, in the most recent times, been that strong at resetting, been that strong of staving off the creep of anger, of rage, and everything in between. And so instead, now it's a question of, mousesports, they kind of are coming into this one hot. They're coming in after overcoming a huge deficit on Train. It takes us into our third map, and of course an update for you on the B stream. Third map underway between Na'Vi and Gambit as well. Worth checking out.
Did not expect to see that going to a third map.
Nor I.
That's the big surprise in my mind. But maybe there's still surprise to be seen. Keep in mind, well, the way the first map went was just such a very different display to how we've seen this game unravel. But a very quick hit up Cat. You're seeing it right now. 3 players bounding their way forward. Very, very, not necessarily puggy. It's quite nicely constructed. But Krishay is going to be a real nuisance towards Crims, especially. He had the bomb. Now the hit has come through on short, but Krishay in this extended fight does get found in the end. There's success to be had yet for Fnatic.
Wow, JW again, saving the day. We saw what he can do with the Glock, of course, on Train with a spectacular multi-kill. And now, Robs, they're both so low. This is one of the most doable 1v3s I've seen in a very long time. He's already got the one frag, now quickly repositioning. Didn't quite get the jump. He was going to try and get on short with a surprise. In fact, he would have already got that frag onto exist, as you can see with his positioning. That was a free frag, had the jump worked. He's now a little late, but it should still work out. He does. One to find. 1 bullet's all he needs. It's Scream, though. We know he's got an affinity for the headshots. And now, 1v1. Rops, 4 bullets left before the reload.
Oh, this gets a little scary, doesn't it?
Making so
Time
much
is
noise.
ticking.
Oh, he plays it so well, Lauren. Baits the step, Scream repositions, and wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. Round 1.
That was very close, though. Very, very close. Nicely played, though, from Rops, as you said. Probably one of the most doable 1v3s you've seen in a while, and it was. But Fnatic came in with a little bit of vigor now, a little bit more, you know, to them, which I'm excited to see. I like that little play-up cat. It didn't work perfectly. I mean, there's always going to be a little bit of trickiness to it, but interesting times.
Yeah, interesting buys as well. Check this one out. There's 2 AKs on the Fnatic side of things. I think with the bomb down and with such a close course going down to a 1v1, essentially, they've chosen to go for the win, go for the W, not swallow their pride. They want to try and kick mousesports in the crotch ASAP. And it looks like it's going to be using their limited utility. It's going to be those 2 smokes now. In fact, a third on Crims to try and hit A hard.
And little do they know that the big factor to this is the positioning coming out. You've got Oscar pushed up in mid. Sunny's in an awkward spot here. He could do well. Let's see what smokes they have and how they use that utility. Let's see if Sunny plays in off the back of it. He could do. I don't know if they're going to expect it from the edge of that smoke. They're not. Spots the cross, but he couldn't pick his target. JW with the deagle delivers that perfectly as Rob's now flashed up. Allows more pressure to build as Scream gets the bomb down. Now, Oscar's position was not necessarily expected, but it was noted.
That was the AK. That's one of the 2.
That's huge. That's a big, big loss. And Oscar knows he is now going to be the biggest thorn in their side, but a CZ swinging apparently is still better than a rifle.
May have been a thorn. Exist gets the Sakateurs out, and now double for Snacks. Numbers favouring the CT side. There is a kit present on Rops. Snacks has already fallen, but as has Rops, that's the kit on the floor. And Exist! What on earth was that? 4 in the round. His spectacular work to start it off with the aggression on ramp. He saved them so hard.
You've got to imagine that was his call as well to go for that purchase. I mean, from start to finish, that was a great round for Exist.
That's huge. That's just basically completely nullified the 1v3 from Rops and then some. 2 AKs, a couple of nades, and a couple of sidearms got them across the second round.
That's huge.
That's there, back to basics for mousesports now. Just a bit of Kevlar, a couple of Deagles, and a CZ75 for Oscar. They want to try and do the same back to Fnatic, but they don't have the luxury of being on that T side. They don't have any element of surprise, at least not with their setup.
We've seen these rounds go by the wayside, though. We saw it on map 1, not so much map 2, but I mean, you know, those CZs and Deagles can work. They do have a bit of armor. They don't have any utility or kits. That could be the big hindrance down the line. But Snack's getting aggressive as well. Finding information out is big for him. I don't know if Sunny spotted that player coming in through underpass. I'm not. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't. JW's now got a good bit of mid-control building with the boys. Chris J waits on the stairs. And now they just need to hold and be patient.
If you take a look at that minimap as well towards the B site, you'll notice Snacks has pushed up aggressively on B. That's information. They can stack and do this safely. Shows the tip of his foul. Sunny's going to get pressure, but the smoke provides some cover, and the bait's so good. Chris J with 2 with the USP, scavenges the AK for a third on Scream, and that is a turnaround. They had nothing. Bare bones back to back, first for Fnatic and now mousesports, and actually that back, they're looking to break. Crims is low, 23 points of health. No armor for Snacks. Ropsy's got that Desert Eagle and the Kevlar, which could soften the blow of that AK-47 should the bullets not find his head. Time, though, present for the Swede.
This is so tough to play out. Because the time has passed, he has no idea where people could be. Rops is maybe the most predictable of the few, but then you still have Snacks.
Wow.
But what a play coming through from Rops there.
I wonder if Sunny showing his Desert Eagle there was deliberate, at least in one way or another.
In theory, that could be such a nice idea. I feel like it's not.
Doesn't fire a bullet, gets info, and backs into the smoke. Both players come out staring at jungle, staring at a smoke, and Chris J's precise USP work nets him a double, eventually a triple. Check this out.
We saw Dupree doing something similar to this at the Major as well. Like, that angle with pistols apparently just works. I don't get it, but that was so good from Chris.
That's awesome. That's turned it right back around. This game is delivering on the third. And you better believe Fnatic are having another jab at it. We've got, what, an MP5, full pistols, and a bit of Kevlar for Fnatic. They just want this to keep going. It's going to be a battle of the loss bonus here. 1400, of course. And the adventure continues. Snacks now being tested on B. It's the first time we've really seen him with equipment trying to hold this one, and actually it's not working out too well. Scares them off for a moment, but that's because they're coming through apps as well. He's split.
How is he alive?
How does he get away with that? This round is looking all said and done.
Yeah, I don't know how he got away with that for that long. Literally pressure from everywhere. He had, like, what is it, Mach 10 or something? I mean, how? How is he staying alive? But he did. And 3-1 is a very good recovery considering where Fnatic got that round and how they got it too. And you just want mousesports to do it right back to them. That's brilliant. Keep eyes on the money, of course. This is going to be a very quiet one from Fnatic here. 1P, 251 flash. The rest is just Glocks. So eyeing up a bomb plant at best. You're not going to hope for much more. The creativity coming out from these two to already pull off a round somewhat similar to this. Like, obviously not to this extent, but obviously a lesser by winning is now going to be big. Oscar.
Cool. This should be at least 2. He's going to tag up a 3rd as well. He gets it, and it's already over.
Brilliant.
You blink and you miss it. The 4th round on the board for mousesports. Some mid-aggression, spliced with some stacked mid-presence from those unarmored Ts. It's a real quick one.
Absolutely. And that's what you want here for mousesports. No messing around. You just want to be like, all right, they're on pistols. Let's get it pushed out of the way.
1 flashbang and an MP9.
Yep. And to be fair, that's what they did against Fnatic when they were in theory on that, eco round, right? Like they had Oscar pushed up in middle. Obviously it backfired a little because there were those rifles exist. Got the, was it 3 or 4 kills? I mean, it's seemingly like something they like to do. So I mean, beyond that, this is now a different beast altogether. We have the rifles out, we have the guns out, we have a bit of utility back now with Fnatic, and I don't know what to expect from them because we don't know what to expect from them. There isn't that source to fall back on. There aren't those demos, there aren't those results. It's a bit of a different beast, but Scream is certainly more than diligent here. So you can already see a bit of a play coming through from middle. 2 through the lower side of things and 3 through the normal avenue of approach, and it could be a quick boost towards window, and Sunny I think feels this pressure.
He knows, he's got a good read of the situation. That smoke is going to be the sign for JW to start making moves into window. Sunny's looking to clear it and trying to use that smoke to his own advantage. He's going to have the advantage should JW push through that smoke. I don't think he's going to be that foolish.
It's a really nice linchpin position for JW though. He can hold that for a second, make sure that no one's doing anything funny around there, allow them to play up towards Cat.
Exist is in ladder room as well. This is going to be so tough for Sunny to hold. They can go either site with this. This is great control from Fnatic.
I worry about the bomb, but they still have control. That's the main thing, as you said. With Exist in that ladder room, they can still play off that really nicely. Sunny feels all this pressure. I have no information or control towards middle. Has to be the call here. Position accordingly, because I can't help you at this point. He's going to back away and maybe just hold somewhere else, do what he can with that. It looks like a B hit's coming in, though. You can see the players coming up. Cat, you can leave JW at middle. He's fine there, unless they need support. And now they just need to get past Oscar and Snacks. Now, Oscar's position could be filthy, but as could Snacks with the right timing. He does not get it. And now it's on to Oscar, and he succeeds where the others did. And as you say, it's the bomb. 19 seconds as well. As much as the others want to do, they have to get that bomb.
Oscar, this is all about survival. He has to play this game so wisely. Is he going to push through the smoke? He is, and it's going to be rewarded by Scream. He catches the frag. 8 seconds. They have to get this bomb down. Chris J shuts it. 5 seconds. The bomb cannot go down. It cannot be planted. Exist has to get the frag, and he does so. Rops, he's hiding. It's over, and that's another for mousesports, but chaos in the server. My goodness. 19 seconds left. Bomb loose in apps. It's a nightmare scenario.
That was terrifying.
Snacks kind of screwed his teammate there by smoking so close. Oscar had this really nice off
Look
angle,
at that, yeah.
but in the end, it's perfect. That's the perfect frag from Chris J. That's how the game ends. Look at that.
That's the summary. That looked towards JW. He'd been kind of causing mischief around window. They knew there was like there's going to be some pressure there, but really well done, because you could still see that being recovered. Them being able to manage to take down Oscar in the end, they had the bomb in hand. It was like, okay, well, maybe there's time for this to turn back, but not the case. 5-1. And that scoreline is looking somewhat more normal, but we haven't been really doubting double AWPs and the CT side from mousesports. That's been pretty decent. I mean, Train was very solid. We're seeing that kind of coming back into factor here, even though some of these rounds have been very weird and back and forth and very close. They have solidified and got them on the board. The money's still here and there, though. Rops is well positioned on that front, Sunny as well, but on the other side, that's not the case.
Yeah, slight alarm bells ringing for mousesports if they don't handle this well, if they don't hit their initial shots. They've gone for the double AWP, huge investment, about $14,000 spent between Chris J and Oscar.
We are back in game.
Now,
there we go. Sorry.
And now it's a question of if they get some aggression. There's no nades to back up these pistols, of course. Draken, what's happening? Draken, from 100 to 0, the Molotov takes the AWP away. That was everything. That was all they had. Exist does manage to scavenge it away. Fortunately, not locked out by any Molotovs and any funny business, and so it will be his turn to teach Draken a thing or two with the big green gun.
Yeah, the Molly nade combo really
that cooked him.
Yeah, it was done for.
Medium well. Swedish steak.
Known.
Dragon
Delicacy.
steak. Yeah.
Got you. Got you.
Daenerys is furious.
Just living your best life, aren't you, Alex?
I'm just having too much fun, sorry. Tags, oh, in fact, a frag. Catches Crims on the cross. They've got nothing apart from Scream. And that's the stand-in who hits the shot. Snacks is going to catch the last double kill, and that's going to put Exist in a very awkward scenario.
A 1v3.
You calling
AWP
it?
to hand. No.
is not what we're going to be seeing here.
Exactly.
That's what you, yeah, I'll just finish that sentence for you. Yeah,
Thank
no
you.
worries.
You got me there.
6-1, mousesports building up quite the CT economy here. They're starting to get cushy, as they say in the UK.
When did you last legitimately say that?
Probably last week.
Really?
Yeah, I get extra British when I go to England.
Oh, major. I keep
Yeah,
forgetting
I
it
was
was
in
actually in.
It was like yesterday. I was in London. What was it, day before?
You sound like you're from London.
Yeah. Or I sound like I'm from Canada, apparently, according to the catering staff in the UK.
Them.
Canada. Canada. I mean, my accent has softened, perhaps.
We've been affected by the internet.
Yeah,
So
I
I'll
have
accept that,
Cali
but-
girls saying, "You sound like you're from New Zealand."
Oh,
I'm like, bro,
Lord.
goodness me, I'm
Chris
gonna get
J
extra cup of tea.
and the adjustment. I like it. Playing in off of the back of short Molotov towards the top of the boxes, ensuring that no one's really there. It allows them way more freedom. Look at the utility usage to allow that bit more play off those double orbs in middle. Now, it's a late take coming out from Fnatic, so they're putting their pieces in there now. They're trying to get themselves... Hello, in the right place at the right time, and that's one part of it. Oscar completely dismembering JW.
And so safe as well, that perfect smoke just to get that volley out of the equation. Sonny gets away. Aggression into middle, they're locking
it's
this
all right.
down so well, taking it in turns. That's Sonny, Chris J and Oscar, each showing face at the right time. It's in perfect synchronicity to bring home another round. And saying that, still Draken and Crims for Fnatic, looking to find the second so far here in round 8. It's all mousesports. Aggression from Crims does get just one. That's not enough in this kind of circumstance. And Draken, he's on the other end of the map. 0 frags for him. And that 1 assist saving him from joining the Secret Service. He's out of the window and out of the round. 7-1 the score.
Why does this feel like a battering now?
It does. I mean, we talked about it, didn't we, right? That comeback from mousesports clearly reinvigorated them.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think Fnatic, by sitting on 14 for so long, you just breed this... what is essentially just rage. You're like, you're so close, yet you're so far, and it gets taken away from you into OT. You finally win the round, and then it's just another battering from the CT side of Mouse. That was Train. That was our second map.
Yeah, this must be frustrating to play against as well. Like, some of these rounds have been so close, and you pulled off that really, really cheeky approach to, that exist moment, basically. But, I mean, this is tough. One man holding A currently, that is just Rops. He's very alone. He's got support on the way, but, oh, God.
What is this? Clown Fiesta!
It's atrocious, Alex.
The circus is coming to New York. My goodness. It's over, fortunately, controlled by mousesports, but they were just kissing in the dark shadows. And then finally, things are resolved. We're back to normality, 8-1. The flashbangs keeping both of them busy.
It's from, like, the circus to 50 Shades Darker with you.
Yeah, you gotta watch out. Sonny just being that anchor.
This is what I
You
really
rarely
like.
see Sonny mess up, like in a large extent, apart from when he's jumping in Nuke.
That's what I like about Sonny. It's like he's just really solid.
Yeah.
When you need those kills, it feels like he's the one to find the ones that like bring you back around in like just a really like smartly done way. And preemptive mollies.
Yeah, looks like they're going to go clothes shopping because Oscar's got Gap. So I can't give a straight face. Okay, Sonny, aggressive, does find the head of Scream. 3 left for the T side as JW's aggression is rewarded from underpass. Gets away from it. The molly will keep window under lock and key. So, level playing field. Bomb in the grasp of Crims as he's starting to choose his bomb site of choice. Lauren, are you okay?
Using the phrase, he's got gap.
A gaff in the smoke. That's what I was going for.
I thought you meant like thigh gap. I was like, what is that?
Why have you
matter,
gone
Alex?
there?
I don't
Why are
know.
you looking at Oscar's thighs?
I can't help
It's
myself.
got nothing to do with this.
You leave me alone. All right, I'll look at Oscar however I
50
want.
seconds. As the CTs are stacked up on B, and actually, you know what, look at this from Crims. He started walking towards Apps, he's changed his mind.
JW's in a really good spot here. He can basically provide complete safety for at least the ramp playout if Draken can hold CT really quick. So that should be the play at least. I mean, for now, they have a lot of control towards A. They can plant towards where JW is. So that bodes really well with that additional smoke to supplement the piece. Now, the Arsplan positions are going to be fun here because mousesports were pretty far away. They weren't holding that close, but they're not completely a million miles off. So this can still happen, but it's going to be a tough retake.
Yeah, that positioning as well from JW. It's been great, of course, to get him into the side, but even now he's just got complete and total control over Oscar. This positioning into window's good, but time is not on the side of mousesports. Draken, he's managing to play on the edge of that Molotov just enough for survival. If the no-scope connects, things could have been a different story, but no time, no hope, and no players left, just Rops.
What? I've just... Gambit just beat Na'Vi? On Overpass?
Can you confirm that?
There's a very happy Dozier on my phone.
That's a very happy Dozier. Okay, wow.
On Counter-Strike.
Gambit without a full 5-man roster as well. I'm sure our desk will talk
Second
about that
at the
when we
major,
get there.
yeah.
Second
Good luck,
at the major.
guys. Break that down.
That's something for them to break down. Of course, that's happening on a secondary stream, 2 running simultaneously here to get through our fantastic best-of-3 group stage. And here's the update for you. Gambit, they've defeated them. It was a 16-10 score after a 16-4 win on Nuke. This is the same Na'Vi that were, of course, in the grand finals of the Face It Major. It does just show just how volatile this game can be.
Just get banged.
Yep.
Get
Couldn't
absolutely
have said it better myself.
banged out. Oof. 5v4, Alex.
A little bit of aggression in middle. He's on his own, though. It's JW. He's using that smoke as a shroud. It won't last too long.
Should'd.
As did... Never, not going to make that joke. Never mind. Change my mind. No
Inappropriate
need to
or
be
just
edgy
bad?
on day,
Oh,
day
edgy?
1. Yeah.
Save it till like the final day, because then what are they going to do? Not pay you?
Scrap that one. Still, numbers dwindling for Fnatic, and it looks so good. Oscar's got a good read, not quite the good shot. Fortunately, Snacks, he's been quite a pillar of consistency for them on this B site. He's always getting the 1, often the double. And already, they've got 60 seconds left, sure, but they're not together. They're separated, and it's once again down to individual brilliance. That's the only win condition for Fnatic in a lot of these rounds.
JW needs to use this timing, because I don't know if they're expecting someone so late in that position. I mean, it's kind of weird to see Crims there. They've spotted him out with the bomb, and then you're like, well, where's his teammate? Surely he's in there as well, but for now, I don't think Crims can really get out of this situation in time. He's got 30 seconds, so JW's being very meticulous in how he's approaching, and they're putting a lot of faith in Crims to be able to just stay alive for a second or two while JW creeps his way up through on short. And the angle is so minute there. You can see they know exactly when you can spot each other. And Crims completely outdoes Snacks. That's opened up the avenue of approach. JW is there. You've got 15 seconds left, and it's down to a 2v2 now.
That's the brilliance we were talking about. They just have such a firm understanding of where those CTs were going to be positioned. Great timing as well as they finally come together. And it does look deadly. From a 2v4 now to a 2v2 after plant. The tides have certainly changed and now in favor of Fnatic. Molotov does rule out one option, but there's so many good tags coming in from both sides. Crims is low, but Chris J, he's even lower, 6 feet lower, as he's going to be lowered in by JW's AWP, and that's the end of the round. Fnatic, fantastic work. It was Crims and JW, and that's what we're talking about. That's where the rounds, unfortunately, for Fnatic often come from, is just they're given time, and you've got the right players in the right place. Great work. 2v4 Fnatic. They're not going down easy.
No, that was a very hard fought-for round, and that came down to individuals really working well off each other and just knowing how to approach those situations and try and work on the weaknesses of the others. Now, let's see how the money's sitting with mousesports. Even though they had quite a strong lead for some time, these rounds have been nuisance factors. They haven't been completely clean. They haven't been complete shutouts. So it looks like the economy is still a little bit here and there for mousesports. It's enough for a purchase, so they're fine, but it's not the perfect purchase. You might see Snacks on something a little less than ideal, or they're going to try and shuffle it around somehow to make it count perfectly. Whereas on the other side, the bound back now from Fnatic, so they have the full set. So maybe there's more to be seen from them. Now they have everything they need to work with.
Yeah, they certainly do, and question does remain of what, you know, Fnatic, they haven't learned anything from that round win. That was simply just good individual play. They haven't found a weakness. They haven't identified anything new from the CT side. And of course, when you rinse and repeat it, mousesports likely to prevail. Something has to change. In fact, maybe it's the pace, because it does look like they're going to be going for the classic Mirage strategy. We're going to be seeing those smokes into the execute presence in Palace as well from Crims, as they are just going to be all sitting back. Of course, that push from Chris J does render some information. He pushed up towards middle and now backs away to connector. I think he's got a good understanding of where this is going. And in flat response, Snacks going aggressive on B for info, and they're starting to build a picture. They're starting to realize as the smokes rain in, this is going to be an A hit as they emerge from Tetris.
Timing gonna be the factor here now, though. The boost is very unconventional,
at that.
but you can see the angle it provides around these smokes. Chris J looking for it, but his stepping stone, his ladder, has been taken away. So he's all curious how that happens, and he's alive, but he swings out, tries to take a bit of a wild shot on this, a high flash to come through, and he's a little bit of a state of panic here. There's a lot of pressure building, and he swings out, he tries to pick an angle, and it's 1 out of 3, and it goes badly.
Bomb's not down yet. After all of that brawling, they still haven't even crossed the sight line. Look at that. They still have to make that crossing. It's going to be Crims. He's, of course, the bravest of the bunch as he does manage to get across and starts punching in those digits. Possible questioning from Oscar here, and he gets it all then onto Exist. He has been great. He's been finding them entry frags. He's been calling out that mad buy that got them their first round in the first place. Now, though, 3 players looking for him. Had to be a quick frag. It wasn't. Into the shoulder of Snacks. He responds with a headshot of his own, and it's the 9th now for mousesports as we head into round 13.
That felt way more solid from mousesports as well, though. It felt like they didn't get... you saw Chris J being a little panicked, don't get me wrong, because he had 3 angles potentially trying to kill him. I mean, it's stressful, but they held their own there in the kind of aspect of they didn't overly panic and just try and retake 1 by 1. It wasn't that weird individual game that we saw from them occasionally, considering that they are a structured team. We saw that kind of like, okay, let's regroup at the right time. We can try and hold that cross to the bomb. And then, okay, they got the bomb plant, but then they held it properly. And
it's often seen as the downside, the flaw, and the reason we don't see the A execute with smokes so often. And I'll talk about it in a moment, because Chris J's doing mad things. Scream, though, does what he does best. Finds the head of Chris J, despite being surprised. He still finds it, but immediately a HE grenade from Snacks lands in his new crisp Fnatic jersey. Sunny pushing forward. Excuse me, finds the frag as Crims, who was pushing forward, and actually Sunny meets his demise. It's a nice trade, though, from Rops, as this is just back and forth in the as the dust does settle, and we catch our breath. Draken looking to go 1v3. Found the first already, just Snacks and Rops, but he's got a good understanding. Snacks,
they're both together.
Fall to this one. If he gets away, it's possible. Draken, good movement. He can get his body over towards that bomb. Let's not forget it is on A.
Rops is pushing, though, Alex. He's not going to back away from that. He's, you know, he played that really well, Rops. So you could see the idea as well between Rops and Snacks, just, you know, double up. It's not going to happen. And then somehow he's still got that individual angle on him, but it's okay. Even though these rounds are close, it's still 10-3 to mousesports. They're still grinding these rounds away. They've recovered a little bit here. And considering how these rounds have been, the money's going to be stripped away from Fnatic.
Yeah, and just to finish that line of thinking I was talking about with the A smokes, while we are in a bit of a weaker buy, it was just that if you don't get that bomb down when the smokes are up, suddenly, if your positions aren't great, if you're not far forward enough, you haven't really achieved too much. Still, retake's so powerful on the CT side, and as is this mid push from Oscar, charging forward.
We've seen it 2-3 times now. Every time they're in this financial situation, you'll see Oscar just take himself straight up middle, and you're seeing Chris J being the guardian of middle after Oscar falls. I mean, this is something they seem to like to do, and it has had great results, excluding that 1 round that Fnatic got when they went for A on that questionable buy. It worked for them, obviously, but yeah, this seems like a mousesports thing where they read the economy well, and I like that approach. It's different from Oscar as well. They unleash him, right? He builds his own money up when he does that.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, right? You got Chris J keeping you safe and sound. You just charge up with an MP9 and you do just feel looked after. Didn't quite get the damage he wanted. He got the 1, and of course, double frags from Fnatic. They are so powerful with the pistols. It wasn't enough to translate into anything more, though, and this is looking dire for the Fnatic roster. They've had a fair few disappointing results and performances towards the end of 2018, and this game, I'm sure, will be added to that list unless they can step things up on their defensive side. Of course, ruling nothing out after that train game. That was a quick adjustment from Chris J. Those rounds can spiral, and he wasn't letting that happen. Double AWPs still, it does seem like the key word, the buzzword for mousesports success across this series.
It feels like it's been that way for quite some time. It was always such a big factor for them. Obviously, double AWPs are prevalent throughout many teams, and they like the idea of what they can bring. But these guys, when they get going on it, you can see such strength and a kind of reinvigorated side when it comes through. Oscar's aggression towards ramp is being complemented by Rops pushing up as well. And And does mean that Fnatic have very limited amounts to work with. And what a different look here. Completely from last round. mousesports obviously a very different situation. Pushing players up middle, being very aggressive, being in their face here. No one's actively playing middle as such. If Sunny's sitting quite far back, you've got them watching the extremities, playing those double AWPs out as best they can.
Yeah, and actually, you may be surprised to know that Chris J got that frag. Those snacks is there. It feels like every single setup they have, there's a trade possible, and I was about to have to eat my words because Rops doesn't have Oscar anymore. Pressure from middle has pulled him away, and in fact, that grenade has sent him packing down now. Again, great response from Chris J. He was on B, but catches them in that mid window as he now could be caught out himself. Great thinking from Crims, excuse me. But it's not going to get them too much further. A 12th round for mousesports to round out their CT half. Things are looking dire, and here comes the cliche one more time. This pistol is important for Fnatic.
I love it, Alex. You're doing wonderfully.
Thank you. Just shaking off the rust.
Yeah,
Give me another best of 3.
Well, look.
I'll stop making jokes about dragons.
No. You keep making
Okay, I'll
those
keep the
jokes.
dragon jokes.
I want, you know...
This was so sick.
That
the
was
USPs.
amazing. The USP. But again, we've seen that more and more recently, this kind of like hold towards middle. It worked for Dupree and Astralis during the major. It worked right now to the same sort of effect as well. Obviously, different scalability. But, well, if it was mousesports, they didn't win a single game, I think. They only broke double digits once.
They just hung out the hook, and Fnatic just
the bait was there.
bit down on the bait.
It's kind of cool. I like those little things that make you question, like, did they intentionally do that, or was that just something that luckily lined up? Right? You were like, maybe he
well,
did.
because he did. He didn't hug the wall. He clearly extended. Whether it was because he fancied a peek or he wanted to hear steps, you know, exactly. We're just going to be spitballing here, but.
Just two
the thought
people who like
process is cool.
Counter-Strike.
The thought process is super cool. If Sunny knew the smoke was there and could just escape after baiting, that was just one of the 12 rounds that mousesports won.
That.
Yeah, this could be over in a flash unless Fnatic can pull some magic out of the hat. Of course, exists no stranger to magic.
There's still those little cheesy lines. It's like Alex the Desk host occasionally comes back out to play, you know?
How do you feel
zingers.
about the commas they're using on the odds instead of a full stop? It's making me uncomfortable.
They're using commas?
Commas. Anyway.
Stop it.
Here we go. Already, Rops has caught one, and now JW's looking just out of position. He manages to worm his way away, but look at mousesports. They're all over B. This looks like dire straits now.
Yeah.
They've got to retake B. They've already lost 2 players. They've already won this round. mousesports, they've got this one completely set up.
Yeah. Put a fork in it. This one's done. This is... Oh, look at Oscar go as well. He's just having a nice time. Just look at this. Oscar's just loving it. He's like, all right, back to window. Where's the... Hello? Where's
Anyone
the
else? Anyone else?
Let me knife you. We do have Chris J. Holding kitchen as well. So, I mean, that was the perfect round for mousesports. I mean, you don't get much better than that, right? It's just so you just, everything goes your way. You're bounding in.
I didn't see where Rops' frag came from. Was that... They can't have been on the entry to B. Perhaps some aggression middle punished.
Surely.
Sorry, I'm putting my jacket on. I apologise for this awful rustling,
Why
everyone.
just hold down the cough button?
Because I can't put my arm in a sleeve and press a button at the same time.
Oh.
Is that something other people can do? I'm not an octopus, Lauren. 2 arms, not 8, in case anyone was wondering how many they have. And they're not arms, are they? They're technically...
Well, no, I was watching something on QI recently where actually
God, here
they
she goes.
apparently are arms, or there's like the way to classify
Are they arms
them.
or legs?
But apparently the way to classify it means like you can't, like it has to only stick to certain surfaces or some sort of, so I don't know, QI. I was very
Do your
tired
hands
watching
stick
it.
to any surfaces? 13-3. That's how we get it back on track.
Just say the scoreline
It's the
with
Henry G
conviction.
trick I've been practicing.
You need to take like the breath beforehand.
There you go. 13-3.
You apply and Matt get sidetracked.
I think everyone does at times. I mean, we can definitely pot kettle black if we start talking about
You're
that.
right. You are right.
Let's have a look. As we are seeing aggression from mousesports, they're charging already, as are the CT side. Now, this is an interesting, aggressive maneuver, but already it's been found out. Snacks too wise.
The little like rustle of bullets going out from the UMP. It's like, that can't go there. Oh, we can't go back either. This is horrible. It's like you see it like unraveling. There's no escape. It's like a bit of a nightmare here for them. They just kind of got locked to that. It's a nice idea, but there's no respite. There's just headshots everywhere. mousesports are punishing Fnatic right now.
Yeah, this is such a dramatic shift from Train.
Yeah.
Fnatic were, and I hate to remind you, I'm sure they don't need any reminding as well. This will be in the forefront of their mind that they were 2 rounds away from winning this series about an hour and a half ago. and the comeback really did shift momentum in such a dramatic way. This Fnatic is not the same. Of course, admittedly, Train perhaps contributing to some of that fantastic lead they acquired, but also this is a mental game. Counter-Strike, it's not all about the crosshair on the head. It's also about the player behind the mouse and keyboard, and I think these guys are shaken now. When Scream's already putting in a show on Inferno, it feels like so long ago, you know, the momentum starts to build up, you're feeling good, you start strong on Train. Now, all of the wind in their sails has gone. Now that's going to be 14. Fnatic have no real chance at this one. I mean, both financially and with the lead they're staring at again. They've kept them honest to an extent when you look at mousesports money. It's not like they've got oodles
To the extent
of cash.
of the game scoreline, yes. I mean, if you're at 14-3 and you're still at least trying to kind of put them in their place, it's a nice idea, but this does feel like one of those uphill struggles that just might be a little bit beyond them. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we see a little bit more of a fight back from Fnatic, but it feels like they've been quelled, they've been met, they've been worked out. And with Sunny now working his way forward in middle, bit of early control going down, and aggression to suit it as well. Chris J's rifle finding Draken's head so early on, with no idea of a response, no idea of what they're doing. It's just such a perfect way to start things off. It's like an assassination.
It is. It really is. Draken forced to watch now as potentially the second to last round of their opening gambit here. Speaking of course, surprise result for Gambit on that secondary stream. And just JW and Scream remain. No nades, no hope, no teammates. It's going to be Oscar and potentially Sunny to wrap this one up and put 15 on the board for mousesports. Scream, you've just got a Deagle and a Dream already spotted out, and that will be the end of that one. Chris J is going to get that frag, and so 15 now for mousesports. They have managed to turn this game completely on its head. And so this third map has left us with a desire for more from the Swedes. They gave us so much on Inferno. We were starting to get a little bit excited, seeing Scream as well. He was putting himself in that shop window, showing everyone exactly, you know, what he's been up to in his time away from the top tier Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
But there's 4 other players on that team as well.
Look at this ramp aggression. I like, at least they're trying new things here, Fnatic. I guess, you know the match is done in your mind. You're being beaten on so many fronts here, but they're trying to be creative or try and find new ways. There's plenty of games in front of them as well. It's not all over, but this game might just be Chris J is looking like he's got, you know, a little bit of a second wind to him now as Sunny comes into it as well. We're down to 2 here, Alex. We're down to 1. It's been an absolute bloodbath this round, and a clinical one at that.
Yeah, and this is actually, it only goes from bad to worse as that final frag does come in, because let's not forget the way this bracket works is an elimination game. And do you know who's waiting in it? It's Na'Vi.
That is not a fun prospect for one of these two teams. We now know that obviously mousesports, it was not an easy game, Alex. This whole matchup was certainly not the game we expected in theory.
Yeah, I mean, Fnatic, they did give us an awful lot to kind of chew on, at least on the first map and the first half of the second. Unfortunately for them, they just lost it. And mousesports, this is huge for them. They don't look particularly enthusiastic. They have Gambit, of course, now in that winner's match, a best of 3 to take them to the playoffs. Otherwise, they'll be playing the winner of that Na'Vi Fnatic game. Fantastic series.
Absolutely, these groups, they're heating up here, I feel. I think we're going to have some very fun games, a lot of upsets, a lot of teams coming in with very unique mentalities we maybe not would have expected with them after that major. Na'Vi is going to be a huge storyline. I'm sure the desk will touch on. If it's something you're interested in, that is where you want to be listening to, which is coming up in just a moment's time. So guys, don't go too far away. Plenty more action coming up today.